This is Overwatch in 2020. Ready? Overwatch is a team-based shooter where you play as a hero that must capture multiple objectives or payloads. That kind of sounds like another game that I know. These are all the heroes right here. And these are the only ones that actually matter. Maybe throw Ashe in there for good measure. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is console, not PC. PC is like way different. Remember those objectives? This is it. Capture it. Now capture the second one. And it's that simple. And then you win. Or you don't, because your healing sucks. And now, let's move on to healing. Healing's easy. You look at them, and you heal. And they're healed. And that's it. Well, not really. That's how it works for Mercy. Go away, you. None of that here. Healing is the most important role, because you can do things like this. Capture points, and heal people. And if you can't heal people, then they die. And if people die, then they can't do damage. This. And then you win. Or you don't, and you lose. Now that being said, that brings us to our very first rule. Rule number 1. It's always the healer's fault, no matter what. So always blame them. Oh yeah, remember those other objectives? The other thing he's always talking about? The payloads? This is them. You kill everybody on it. And then it moves. Then you get it to the end. And you win. It's that simple. But to take that kind of thing, you need damage. Like this. Or this. Or even this thing. Damage is super simple. It's not hard at all. I'll show you. See, this is your controller right here. You press this button right here. Yep, that one. And you kill things. Kind of like this. Kind of like that. And that brings us to our second rule, which is, it's always the damage's fault, no matter what. So always make sure you remind them. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about tanks. These big beefy boys, well, and hamster and girl and robot thing. But we don't talk about those. They have lots of health. And they do things like this. And they swing their big hammer and they also do a lot of damage. Observe. See? Just like that. Tanks are pretty important because they can do stuff like this and block ults. And allow your damage to do more damagey things and kill things. So then you win the game. Or you lose the game because you have a bad tank. And that brings us to our third rule, and I think our most important rule. It's always the tank's fault, no matter what. So always blame them. And that's Overwatch, basically in its entirety. Well, you have these other things too, like arcade and comp. But people mostly hang out in quick play now because comp is fucking trash. There's a few more rules that I forgot to mention that are also super important to follow. Like this one. Rule 4. Always spam thank you after you lose to show how mad your teammates are. It couldn't have been your fault at all. Couldn't have been your fault that you lost. No. How could it be? You're the best. And rule 5. Always blame other people when you aren't doing well. Remember, it's always the healer's fault, the damage, or the tank. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you could buy loot boxes too, because, you know, that's a thing in 2020. Bye.